Hey everyone, it's Frogs Master. Well, here we go. Let me turn the light on in here. Alright. Now, this is gonna be interesting, I think. Okay, so this is gonna be kind of different, but I think that is fine. Yeah. I see them in there. I'll get a couple of them. Let me get those real quick. I'm just gonna get a couple. Alright. Let me set this down. I got something here with me, but I'm gonna get a couple of these. I'll take that one. And, yeah, we'll do that one. And let me get one more thing. Well, maybe. Let's see. Maybe. Maybe not. I see it in there, but yeah, I see it in there. Okay. Let's get these set up now. This is gonna be interesting. Let me shut this. Just gonna be a minute here. I'm gonna do it like this, I guess. I don't know. When I say this is gonna be interesting, it's actually gonna be interesting. I know I say that quite a bit, but this time it really is. This is not what you're expecting. I mean, I guess you do know because of, well, a little bit because of the title, but I'm not gonna make the title of this as easy to figure out. Okay. And of course this will not stand, so we'll do it like that. Okay. Here we go. So just got a couple things from there. Got thing from over there. You might know what I just did because you can probably see what that is back there. You're gonna see what exactly got me, Frogs Master, back into film, TV shows, animation, mainly film in general. So everything, right? Shows, movies. I'm going to be showing you the thing that mainly did it. And it's like the only thing, honestly. Should I just say it now, or should I say the backstory first? I guess we'll go with backstory. So, obviously, I watch a ton of animated movies and shows and all that any kid would, or like most kids would, from whatever time they were, first starting to watch shows, whenever they were born in the 90s, then those late 90s shows, or if they were born in early 2000s like me, then more of the mid 2000s shows. Maybe some of the earlier ones, though, for those longer running ones, like one of them, of course. So, I was born in 2003, in June 5th, 2003, and I watched quite a few shows. Of course, they were all animated back then when I was a kid, because I'm pretty sure most kids wouldn't really want to see any live action shows with movies that's different. But shows, not really. I think it would mostly be animated. So of course that's how it was for me with shows and movies. Actually, it was both. Of course, the first one I can remember, it really started with SpongeBob. Of course, good old SpongeBob SquarePants, like first 3 seasons kind of thing too. I mean, they weren't like, not really when they were airing on TV. We bought a volume specifically of season 3. So it didn't have seasons 1 or 2. Really, it was just a bunch of season 3 episodes that I had seen all the time. But besides that, well, with SpongeBob, we actually got quite a few DVDs for seasons, but they were like then season 5, I think we had, and a season. Actually, I think it was just a season 3 and a season 5 one, maybe a season 6. But I think it was just a couple. Didn't have any DVDs or anything like that for other shows, really. Just SpongeBob, just those other couple ones. All the other DVDs were for movies. And I mean, I basically saw a ton of different animated movies. All the ones that any other, 2000s, people born in 2000s would have seen. The DreamWorks ones and the, Pixar and Disney. Basically, a ton of different stuff, right? I'll still name a few real quick. Toy Story and Shrek 2, a bunch of the Shreks, and, Rio, and I guess that was really the only Blue Sky one. I mean, Epic, there's Epic, but that's like way later. Kung Fu Panda, and not really How to Train Your Dragon, but there's Shark Tale, that was one. Yeah, some were later than others, some were earlier. But I just watched all that stuff like anybody else would, For other shows, there was like Fairly Odd Parents and a lot of PBS shows, actually, which that was only for a specific time, and that stopped. I never watched those again. As you would expect, obviously, I don't go back to watch those, since the PBS shows are a lot more, and well, PBS Kids, I should say, that's what it was referred to as. I don't know if that's what it's called now, but I think it's a different name. Those were much more educational. Still, there were some of those that I saw, like Cat in the Hat and Martha Speaks, I think was one of them. There were a lot of Nick Jr. shows that I had been seeing too, which obviously would have made sense because I was watching a lot of animated shows and stuff when I was like 5. So that would make sense. It's not like I was watching Nick Jr. stuff too late in to my years. Like there's Team Umizoomi and the Kai-An thing, I think is what it was called, or Kailan. Probably don't know what that is. I think that's an unpopular one. I remember him though. No reason to really state them. I stated a few there though, just in case you wanted to know. I have a Letterboxd account. If you don't know what Letterboxd is, that's an app where you can review films. Only films, though. No, you can't put TV shows reviews on there. You might find a very few TV shows that you can put a review in for, but it's basically all movies. But obviously, that's all movies. All the live action ones, all the animated ones, the ones that are both, the live action CGI hybrid ones, anything. And like TV specials and stuff like that are on there too. So yeah, you can download that and you can put in all your reviews for all that stuff. It does it with it's a 5-star rating system that's how it does it. But you can put like something and a half star. So, you can easily figure out how you could do a 1 out of 10 to 10 out of 10 rating with the stars. Pretty easy. But you should get it. It's called Letterboxd. Little app. It's got 3 dots. Green, blue, orange. All lined up in a row. It's a popular app. Some of you probably heard of it. Maybe even a couple of you actually have an account, and I don't know, and I need to follow. Because I probably will. Because there's not really any Gemmy people on Letterboxd. There should be more. That would be interesting. But I use Letterboxd now to review all the movies that I see. And a couple of the shows that might be on there. Sometimes the shows will actually get taken away, though. So anyways, like I was saying, I would just go and watch all those shows, all those movies, the DreamWorks ones, the Pixar, Disney movies, the CGI Disney movies, and the 2D ones. There were a few of those that I had seen when I was a kid. So a ton of different ones. There were some Sony Pictures animation movies. There were a couple of those too that I would see. And like the Christmas specials, obviously. I had seen around those times too. Grinch, Frosty, Rudolph, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, Year Without a Santa Claus, a lot of those actually. Even Elf, and that's a live action one, actually. The live action movies didn't really start until I was more like 7, I would say, or 8, probably 7 is probably when those started coming in, because once I started watching a few of those, then I really started watching a good amount, along with the animated ones. I didn't stop watching the animated stuff after I started watching the live action. I just watched both. Of course, all these live action movies were PG. Actually, no, I don't think this counts. There's Gremlins that I saw, but that was rated PG. But if you don't know, Gremlins ended up making the PG-13 rating a thing. It was that and one other movie. I don't remember what the other movie was called. I think it's another popular movie, but Gremlins was one of them. That was one of the first live-action movies I had seen. Yeah, Gremlins out of all things. Well, the live-action CGI hybrid movies I did see before Gremlins. With the cartoon character CGI form with humans. Those I saw before Gremlins. But Gremlins was still one of the first ones. You're probably thinking what I'm about to say. Yeah. My mom had made the wrong decision and showed Gremlins to me too early. Yeah, it scared me pretty bad. Like, pretty bad. But of course I got used to it. And now it's all good. I've not rewatched it in a long time though, so there's a possibility that I could I could still jump over it. So I saw all those movies and stuff. Live action ones, animated ones, but all G or PG. Maybe one or two PG-13 movies in there at the end in like 2012. No, 2013. Beginning of 2013. Then we moved out of that house with the pink carpet. For some reason, I think when we moved, I think just because of being in a new house for the first time, it made me a little weird watching all that stuff in the new house. Don't really know why it would make me feel weird, but it did. And I stopped. And when I say I stopped, I mean I stopped. Like, really stopped. I never watched anything again on the TV. And when there was something that my parents would put on, like on purpose, yeah, I still wouldn't. I would even try not to look at it, actually. I actually think I was trying to find some sort of way to grow out of all of it. Which, obviously, thinking about that now is really weird because animation isn't just for kids. And you can say that in both ways, in both two very different ways. There's a literal way you can say that because there's things like Family Guy and Has-Been Hotel and Heck of a Boss and, all those. But also, there's just animated movies are good. I should say they can be good. They can be very good. Good amount of them. Obviously, there's still bad ones that do try to be too kiddie. Quite a few, actually, from a specific studio or two, but there's tons of good ones, too. Animation isn't just for kids. But in 2013, when we moved into that new house, I think I was trying to grow out of it. I was like forcing myself, but it wasn't really working because whenever my parents would put something on the TV that was animated or live action that was like PG, all stuff that I would have seen beforehand at one time, whenever they would do that, I would think about going and sitting down and watching it with them or looking at it for a few seconds, but I would not do it. I would always stop. Never once. Actually, in the complete rest of the year of 2013. I guess this was only like a whole half of the year, like the second half of 2013, really, not the first half. I was still watching some stuff in the first half, but that's because in the first half, we were still in that first house. That complete second half of 2013, I would not watch stuff. Even around Christmas time, here's something. My great-grandmother would call in like 2013, 2012. I think the last year she had done this may have been like 2017 or so, but anyways, she called in 2013 around Christmas time, letting us know that those Christmas specials were on the TV. She specifically only did it with those Christmas specials. I mean, it's a little weird, but I mean, I get why. because that's actually where I used to watch a lot of those Christmas specials, was at my great-grandparents' house, so it does make sense. She would, like, specifically only leave a message for just those Christmas specials whenever they would be on, so that would be interesting when she would do that, but I still wouldn't watch them. I would acknowledge her, like call her back or whatever, saying okay or whatever I said, I don't remember. But no, I wouldn't watch them. It seemed as if I was not going to get back into film ever again. And there's films right there, in a sense. And with this, you clearly see that it did. Because look, it's TV show characters, but it is Jemmy, so maybe that doesn't count. I mean, I'm sure I still would have gotten these, even if I hadn't got back in the film, because, of course, they're Jemmy. But maybe I wouldn't. Maybe I wouldn't. Who knows? You might know exactly what thing brought me back in, but a lot of you do not. And this is what it was. That's right. Maybe you can't tell what that is, but these three? Yep. I'm not joking. My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic. Specifically that show. Not the first show, not the next one, not the next one, not that old 80s movie, not the 2017 movie, or anything after 2014. Or 13, you know. This 2010 show, specifically. This is what did it. I had heard about this show in 2013, I think. And of course, I would not watch a video of it. Because it's for girls. Little girls. Now, of course, that's what it's targeted for. That's the main target audience. I'm not denying that. But I thought only they could watch it. I would not watch a single clip. Or nothing. I wouldn't look at a picture. No. I wouldn't do anything. I heard about it in 2013, though. But then in 2014, and you know, there's a chance maybe I started watching it in 2013, but I really doubt it because I didn't start getting all this MLP merch stuff until 2014. I got none of it in 2013, so it had to have been 2014 when I started, not 2013. I wouldn't have waited a year to get merch and stuff like that. I would say probably May 2014, maybe April. I'm going to go with April, actually. It was probably April 2014. But I know it was close to when the summer was starting. Well, I guess that's not really close. That's like still a bit far, but April or May 2014. Probably May 2014, the beginning of it, I decided to watch an episode of My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic on YouTube, because that's back when TV show episodes were all over YouTube, especially this show, all over. Every episode, it was on YouTube in high quality. It was like that for a few other shows too, mainly animated ones. I think there were a couple live action ones that did have episodes on YouTube. Like, I think there used to be full episodes of The Office on YouTube. I don't think they're on there anymore, because obviously things are a lot different now, especially with the streaming services. That probably took all those episodes off of YouTube. You know, YouTube blocking them and other studio's probably stopping from those videos from showing up on YouTube. Anyways, all of the My Little Pony Friendship is Magic episodes were there. I watched one. I don't remember what episode at all. I just picked a random one. And surprise, surprise, that clicked. That clicked really good. Like, very good. You know, I feel like if this were something that I would have came across on in like 2016 or something like that, it may have not worked because it would have been too old, but because I found it at a young enough age, which would have been 9, almost 10, or no, I'm sorry, 10, almost 11, that probably is what made it work a lot better. But I think I probably still would have gotten into it because my personality would still be the same. Wouldn't have been that much of a difference. Now, if for some reason this show was something that I came across like in this year, yeah, that would probably be a lot different, but you still never know. My personality isn't that much different now than what it was back then. But this was the show that did it. This sincerely was. I don't think that made any sense. Sincerely was. Oh no, I think that works, but genuinely, this was the one and the only one. There wasn't another show. Like, I'm sorry, SpongeBob did not get me back into film. Fairly Odd Parents, no. Any other Nick show, no. Any new show coming out in 2014, like the middle of 2014, no. It was this show. The 2010 animated show targeted for little girls. This is the one, and there's no denying that this is the one that started it. Now, obviously, as you can see, that's one of the reasons why OMLPFIM, which you know what that stands for, right? My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. You see that there's a reason why that show is special to me. It's the reason why I have that Letterboxd account with all those reviews of those movies and shorts and all that. It's because of this. It's because of this show. Maybe a couple of you known that. I think I've said it to a couple of people, but really not that in depth at all. Not like this, definitely. This was the one. I'm not going to talk about these figures yet. But yeah, this was the show. It was this one. Just going to show these real quick since they've just been sitting there. This merch stuff was all like stuff I was getting in 2014, like right after I started watching it. And I watched all the episodes for it on YouTube. And I watched them so much. I mean, back then, I gave the show like a 10 out of 10. I'm not joking. I thought it was perfect. Like, nothing wrong with it. Every episode, 10 out of 10. Every character, 10 out of 10. Every plot for the episode, 10 out of 10. All the jokes, 10 out of 10. Animation, 10 out of 10. Here's this ball thing. My middle school in Missouri had this exact ball. One of the teachers did. I liked that. I think these figures I got in 2014. Some of them. This was Like, I think this may have been a year or two later. But, yeah. I'll get into that stuff later, though. Now, that in there, that's the poster that you got to see again at the beginning of this. It's the smaller paper-looking thing in there. This is the Mangle poster. These still need to be nailed back up to my wall. I do still want them on my wall, which might come as a surprise to some of you. Yeah, I'm 18, but I don't care. I want that back on the wall. This and the that poster in there, that My Little Pony Friendship is Magic one. Or that could be the Frogs one, actually. This might be the... Nope, this is the Mangle. So yeah, that right there is the My Little Pony one. I feel it. That's not the Frogs one. I may have lost that Frogs paper poster-like thing. I don't know for sure. Anyways, we're going to put these back in here now. You will see them return. Or will you? Maybe you won't. Nope, they definitely won't. They're not going to return. Well, actually, I'm not going to be showing this poster again until it's hung back up. Actually, just so you know, but I'm sure you don't care. And you can't even see me putting it back. Okay, that's fine. I'm about to knock over this stuff because it's kind of on the edge, and I don't have the left closet door open. Okay. There we go. That's better. All right, I'll shut that again. That's the Rick and Morty pictures and the banner thing. That's not MLP stuff. Again, MLP, that stands for My Little Pony. You probably know that. Shouldn't really need to say that. This had been in my brother's room for so long. He gave it back to me like literally the other night. It was just sitting on my bed, and I just smiled at that. Just because I can have it back in here. For some reason, he wanted it in his room for so long. I think it was mainly a joke, but he wanted it in there. It was a nice moment to just see it sitting on my bed. Now I can have it in here. Because even this, there's something. Even this ball. I'm just going to leave it out here, I guess. I don't know. I'm not going to put it in here. I don't know where to put it. So it was My Little Pony Friendship is Magic and nothing else. That was the only show that I would watch for a very long time, actually. Like, I would say for a full year, honestly. That was mainly the only show. I think. I mean, occasionally there was a different animated show on, or some show that maybe I'd look at real quick, but I was never watching it. That was mainly when I was at my great-grandparents'. They would have it on, whatever it was, mainly SpongeBob, but I wouldn't look. Yeah, even when I started watching My Little Pony, it was just that I wanted to watch. Only that. Just tons and tons of that. And, well, don't know if there's anything else to say, really. I'm trying to think. It is actually possible that I didn't really watch any other show. Like, I'm not counting, like, YouTube videos and stuff. But, like, a TV show, movies, that that started again in 2014 once I started watching MLP. But for TV shows, oddly enough, I can't remember the next show that I started watching again after MLP. I almost want to say that once I started watching My Little Pony in 2014, that I didn't watch another show until summer of 2018, which I know that sounds insane, but I think that just might be the case, oddly enough, because I can't think of another show. I think it was just that I was watching for 4 years, but it could have just been one, and I can't remember what I started watching in 2015. You think that I would, you think I wouldn't forget something like that, but back then I wasn't really into film. It was just My Little Pony. I think I want to save this other stuff, but I'll mention it briefly. There was a game or two that I was also getting into in 2014. One was Five Nights at Freddy's. That was in like September 2014. And there was other stuff, but it was the next year in 2015. But we'll get into some of that other stuff later, maybe. But who really knows? Maybe I won't. But something will definitely be returning to the channel. Alright. I don't think there's anything else I really want to say. Because we don't want to, with this, getting to a certain amount of, of minutes. Okay. I watched like all 4 seasons of My Little Pony in 2014, like all the episodes. I think all on YouTube. Yeah. Right up till the season 4 finale, which had just came out like 2 weeks ago. At that time in May, when I got done with the last few season 4 episodes, then I saw the finale with my brother in the good old comfy bed, and it was really good, and it was a really good memory, and it was a really good episode, and I definitely still think it is one of the best 2 episodes. 2-parter finale, Twilight's Kingdom. And I think now that is it. Hopefully I can have the intro and the outro in this, because if not, then I really need to cut it back, if you know what I mean. And I said I wouldn't mention it, and I am, because I don't know. This is all different. Peace.